Ladies and gentlemen, Democrats, South Africans, Sanbonani, Goeiedag, Molweni, Dumelang, good morning. Welcome to the Democratic Alliance's Federal Congress 2018.
I want to say to all of you as Democrats, thank you for making it to this Congress. Many of you have traveled far, and I'm most grateful that you've come to join us, and you've covered hundreds of kilometers. Welcome, and I'm really looking forward to this particular Congress. And as I look around this room, I have never felt energy like I feel in this place. I've never felt the urgency to ensure that, in fact, we get it right. Such an exhilarating prospect of changing the course of history in South Africa. And you who are here are leading the charter. Amandla. I want to say this, that I think everyone in this room is part of something big. It's part of, I don't have to tell you this, I think you can feel it and you know it. Because whilst we are gathered here in Gauteng, I want to say at this Congress, this is the battleground. The future of this country will be determined by what happened here in Gauteng. And I don't know about you, but next year, after the elections, we must put a DA-led government here in Gauteng. The tide is turning. Amandla! Because when we say these things, many people didn't believe us. 7 years ago, we won Midval, Baraiba Bafeele. They went away that in fact in the August of 2016, we would have the great privilege to be able to lead Johannesburg and put Ntate Herman Mashaba into government. But no, never khonagale. They went away where we would put Solim Simanga as mayor Kotshwane. And as I see what began as a small tide is now beginning to become a tsunami that is sweeping all across South Africa and will continue to sweep in this province as we bring about the change in Gauteng. Forward, Gauteng, forward. I love it. Because Batsurile, I want to tell you, our opponents are so scared because now they are starting to think to themselves, what does it feel like to be in opposition? Hey, kunzima. Chelete ifedile, everything ifedile, because ba bona gore hey no more opposition. But Democrats, it's a privilege to lead. It's a privilege to serve in government. And we dare never lead with any form of arrogance. We have to humble ourselves and say we are here to serve the people of South Africa and of Gauteng. But I want to say this to you, next year's election is going to be tough. There'll be many battles, there'll be many insults. They will say things about us because they are nervous. They see that we are winning the battle of ideas. But as Michelle Obama once said, when they go low, we'll go high. Let me say that to you, when they go low, we go high. I'm telling you now, next year they're going to come out with everything. But the food parcel, they will come and say things. They will come and intimidate us. And I want to say to every activist of the Democratic Alliance, thank you for your hard work. They come, they intimidate, they threaten us. But what we will be doing is going out there to win the battle of ideas. I want to say this to you, Democrats. They will come and want to divide us on the basis of race and say this party is for black people, that party is for white people. But I'm here to tell you, this party is for all South Africans, black, white, Indian, colored. This is what this party stands for. And maybe before many people would have said, let us save South Africa because of corruption. But now it's time that we recognize that we are in the fight of our lives to save South Africa from a one-party state that determines nationalism. And it's only this party that can succeed. For if we don't succeed, I don't believe Gauteng will succeed. I don't believe South Africa will succeed. Amandla! So are you ready? I can feel it. I'm ready. Because I want to tell you something beautiful. We're a party that embraces diversity. We're a party that is here that says we are here to challenge for power. I did not join politics to improve the government of the day. I joined politics to remove the government of the day. I hope you're part of that struggle, Democrats.
Thank you, Tate.
And I want to say we must be a party that builds a home for all South Africans. And I am so proud that many of you have traveled a long road to be here. We stand on the shoulders of so many great South Africans who would look at this hall today and be filled with tears. When I watched that opening ceremony, I was so reminded of the beauty of this party. And I bet you that generation of Helen Suzman, of Jan Steitler, of Colin England, of Zach de Beer, of Frederick van Zyl Slabbert, of Tony Leon, of Helen Ziller would cheer us on and say, let us keep going forward to charter a new ground for South Africa. Amandla! I am proud of that generation, for however few they were, they stood against the policies of the apartheid government and recognized that one day the DA will come and govern South Africa the liberal way. Amandla! I am so proud. Because today I see a party more vibrant and more diverse than ever. Barataba. Because we're a beautiful party. We're a South African party. I see a party truly filled with individuals who are proud of who they are and yet recognize that they are part of something greater than themselves. I see a party of patriots who simply refuse to say their destinies must be defined by the way they look, the language they speak, or the God they worship, or ultimately the color of their skin.
Yes.
I see a party where in fact the future of this country belongs. Because right here, right now, we're beginning to write a new history, a new chapter for South Africa, where our legacy will be to bring change to South Africa. I am so proud of each one of you. Ke a leboga. And I want to say, the great thing about the DA is that we're the party that's working all over in every community. And we speak not only for the people gathered in this room, but for the millions of South Africa. This is the DA I see before me. And I batla ke chogeri. Uputa tu matikizela. Nabantu base Western Cape. Ndiyanibulisa. Ndithi molweni eWestern Cape. Ek wou net sê baie dankie vir almal wat hier is. You know, when unemployment in the country is going up, it is going down in the Western Cape. You have said, when corruption is going up everywhere in the country, in the Western Cape, they have finished it. Babu Matikizela ndiyabulela enkosi, and you have set such an incredible benchmark for what governance looks like. And I want to know that when next year comes around, the citizens of the Western Cape, bazawutsho bathi futhi, for the third successive time, we must bring out a majority that will retain the DA in the Western Cape. Khawume ndibuyele ekhaya. Eastern Cape, ninjani kodwa emakhaya? Kaloku Eastern Cape kusekhaya. ndingumaduna usidloyi usijekulu utiba ekhaya kusetsomo ndiyanibulisa apho nize nonqaba ubhanga siyabulela ngomsebenzi onuyenzayo nisibulisele phaa kukumkani umxelele ndizawufika awuthi ngibonge ngibulise futhi nalapha abasekhaya abaseKwaZulu Natal nozwakhele Mncwango yazi niyakhula niyabonisa ukuthi hayi cha manje sekuyi-official opposition nizokhula futhi nibonisa abantu ukuthi niyaphambili ngiyabonga babuzwakhele Mncwango laat ek ook sê vir al die mense van die Noord-Kaap waar is die Noord-Kaap julle lyk baie mooi ek is baie bly dat almal hier is ek sal probeer om my Afrikaans laat verbeter, maar ek moet asseblief sê, volgende jaar moet die Noord-Kaap 'n DA-regering kry en ons moet seker maak dat dit wat sal gebeur. Batswana ba ko lapeng, ba ko Northwest, dumelang. Rona re Batswana ba kwa Maimane ba ko Rustenburg le ritse sentle mo tlase ga ntate Joe Medlua ke a le dumedisa ebile ke a le amogela tswellang pele re tla re ha re heditse hano re tla re tlo go ja mabele go lona fola utlwa and then to the province of Limpopo Ndakhenza o ka ntate Jacques. Hey, Ntate Jacques, the work that you guys are doing amongst TVET colleges, you've shown growth. Ke re ko Limpopo Ndakhenza. Hey, nda. And ultimately to the province of Mpumalanga. Hey, no Jane. Hey, niyakhula. Nizobonisa abantu ukuthi hayi udidi unilahlile laphaya. Maruma mujeni kudale lwa laphaya so ngisho ngithi realocha. And to our friends from the Free State, halala Free State halala ke maning ka tlasa boetele dipele ba mme Patricia Kopane mo ba lwantshang teng mone ha ba hole ke komkeiki ke a leboga mme Kopane ke le lakaletsa mahlonolo ere ke qetele ka mona mo lapeng ere ke provincia ka home ground phela bafethu ha o dlala anywhere la o dlala go pholong you have to have a home ground advantage and I'm at home ka tlasa boetele dipele ba John Moody bafethu I want to say to the province of Gauteng as we go out and win this province let's make sure or Gauteng is a DA government as Qhubekeni. Dumela, fellow Democrats, since our last federal Congress, our party and our country has changed significantly. And much of this change is thanks to the hard work of the people in this room. And in fact, along with our staff and our activists, I want to especially thank our professional staff for the leadership, for the work that they are doing, and certainly for putting together this Congress. Ndiyabulela. They put in tireless amounts of work, and certainly the people in my office who make sure we carry on the work that we do. Ke a leboga bafethu. I also want to say to all the activists of the DA, corner to corner, house to house, everybody in the DA, your first and foremost obligation is that you are an activist before anything else. Membership wa gago ha o turi, ha gona platinum membership. 10 rand. But I want to say, the DA went from governing 1 metro to now governing 4 metros. More than 16 million South Africans, in fact, wake up every day under a DA government. And during this time, we've extended coalition politics to the national stage. And I want to say to all the parties and coalition partners in South Africa, I extend the friendly hand of constitutionalism, non-racialism, and I want to say to you, let us continue to work together to govern for the people of this country. And I open my hand towards you today. And what must be recognized is that we've had to learn to set aside our differences and to do what is good for the people of our country. It hasn't always been easy. I won't lie to you. At times it's been tough. But I believe without a shadow of a doubt that it is the future of South Africa and it is ultimately democracy in action. Even at times where our partners in government turned against us in the name of racial populism, we've prevailed. And we will continue to prevail because ours is a good fight. Our cause is just and our principles are firm. Democrats, we did battles in the courts where each victory in the fight against corruption that helped secure the freedom of every South African. And 10 years ago, we as a party decided that we will not rest until we make sure that we give Jacob Zuma his dream of a day in court. And I'm grateful to say, thanks to all of your hard work, he had his day in court yesterday. It was only the beginning. There's still more to come, but we will continue that fight. It's not about Jacob Zuma. It's about making sure that everybody is equal under the law, and that principle must be established in South Africa. Whether you are a president or a pauper, you are equal in the law of South Africa. And I want to say it is your victory. I urge you to note the fact that the Guptas may have captured a president who progressively captured the state, but those stole resources from our people. What Bell Pottinger tried to steal was the unity of races among South Africa. They tried to sow the seeds of division that would bring us back to a past we never want to go back to. And I am grateful today that this party stood up and said, no, Bell Pottinger, you are not going to divide us. And you, in no small way, fought that battle and ensure that the PR agency that was hired to divide us is no more, because we will fight for a South Africa for all, and that is your victory. I want to say this to you, Democrats, that our governments in Cape Town and the Western Cape, along with the people of Cape Town, fought very hard to make sure that the taps keep running in a time of the most devastating and the worst drought recorded in history. Democrats, we've set up a journey where we are beginning to clean out the metros. This is indeed a massive and a difficult task. But our mayors are doing it with pride and a commitment that the people of South Africa can expect from what a DA government. We exposed and rooted out corruption. We gave tens and thousands the dignity of owning the home for the first time by giving them title deeds to their homes. We began a journey of electrifying neighborhoods. We're fixing streets. We're sending Metro Police to communities to make sure our communities are safe, and that this is not a home for drugs and gangsters. And when I look back at all that we've achieved, I know that the road is still long, but I want to say, Democrats, I am filled with pride and honor to lead this movement of South Africans who continue to deliver for our people. And ladies and gentlemen, fellow South Africans, 3 years ago, I stood in Nelson Mandela Bay and said, our values will lead us to victory. I said it because although the DA is changing, our values are not. We remain committed to the promotion of freedom, fairness, and opportunity for all South Africans. And in the run-up to this Congress, I noticed that every candidate, in fact, campaigned on the basis of values. I think it's because, although we may differ on many things, one thing we agree on is our values. It is our values that unite us. It is our values that allow us to come together from across the country where we have a history that was divided and absolutely painful. It is these values that make us different from every other party. It is why all of us here today celebrate and champion diversity. That is, in fact, that no other party is as diverse as ours. We are united in our diversity, Democrats. And we're showing that. Despite our country's brutal history and yesterday, we can work together to improve everybody's life. Because what apartheid laws may have changed in 1994, its legacy has remained with us. And it's still with us today. We must continue to fight against racism. We're fighting against inequality, and we're fighting against poverty. We are the party that is tearing down the emotional wall between people who were previously divided. And we're doing it without defining people according to the color of their skins. Democrats, for centuries, South Africa has been a battleground of competing racial nationalists. Wherever we've turned, walls were being built and put up between us, separating us. These walls kept us apart, physically and socially. They told us where we could live, where we could grow up, who we could marry, what jobs we could have, who we can fall in love with, and what we couldn't. These are the walls that separate us. And ultimately, Democrats, when there are parties that come and try to divide us and resurrect those walls between us, we ought to be the party and will be the party that is breaking them down. Because when other parties say that black people can only speak for black people and white people can only speak for white people, nothing could be further from the truth. Because in this party, I see South Africans, black, white, Indian, and colored, standing up for all South Africans, a one South Africa for all. Amandla! When other parties, in fact, obsess about power, we'll be obsessing about freedom. The freedom of every South African to be what they want, who they want, and that they can be the best they can be. This week, Democrats, we opened our new offices, our campaign headquarters, Mo Gauteng. And Ribiditse Sisbize Nkululeko House, Freedom House, because we believe this is at the core of what we stand for, a fight for freedom. That, in fact, this freedom for the people of our country and the people of our continent can only be achieved, Democrats, by espousing our liberal values. Values that put individuals first. Fellow Democrats, we need to ensure that we build a liberalism in Africa, for Africa. It is a pleasure to welcome here some of our brothers and sisters and leaders from across the African continent. And I especially want to make a special mention to my brother from Botswana, Duma Boko from Botswana, who is here with us today. I pay tribute to the work that we're doing in Africa with our colleagues Hakienda Hachilema in Zambia, and also to my fellow Democrat who passed away last year, Morgan Swangarai, Itilala Ngokolo, comrade. As African liberals, we fight the hard road. We've chosen to stand up against dictators and bullies of all stripe, even when it is politically incorrect to do so. We've chosen to stand up for the free expression of ideas, even when with people with whom we disagree and their views make us angry. We've chosen to promote constitutional democracy at a time when some people are using the excuse as the Constitution as a scapegoat for our society's problems. We've chosen to fight for the principle of equality before the law at the time when powerful people and big men think that they are above the law. And we've chosen to fight against the domination of individuals in the name of community traditions or customs. Yes, Democrats, our communities play a great part in shaping us, but surely they don't determine who we are. Only we can determine who we are. And I want to say this to you. I am proud. I am a proud black South African, a proud Sowetan. I am a proud Christian. I am a proud son of Xhosa and Tswana parents. But even over above those things, they've helped shape what I've become today. But in the end, I still have a choice to be who I am. Three years ago, Democrats, in my first speech as the DA leader, spoke of being molded by my experiences as a black South African. I said, if you don't see that I'm black, then you don't see me. But equally so, the flip side of this is also true. If all you see is that I'm black, then you equally don't see me. Because my blackness does not add or subtract to my humanity. It doesn't define everything I am. Because I'm secure enough in my blackness to think for myself. And at the end of this life, I will be judged on whether I was a good husband, a loving father, a loyal son, a patriotic South African, someone who made a contribution and studied. And none of these questions are a question that will be defined by my race. But for many people, this is a radical and subversive idea because it is a threat to racial solidarity. It is in fact groupthink. It is a threat to the politics of divide and rule. It is a threat to the old order of doing things. But we dare never allow it to deter us. We must carve out a new agenda for African liberalism. Amandla. As African liberals, we understand that communities, customs, and traditions play an important role in who we are. We recognize the spirit of Ubuntu, Botho, gore ke motho ka batho. But as liberals in Africa, we are not colorblind. We understand that racial domination and dispossession of apartheid and colonialism destroyed people's freedom. We want to fix this injustice without ever reducing people to simply the prisons of their race. That is why in the DA, all of us can be here fighting for the same values and the same struggles. Amandla. As African liberals, we understand that poverty is an assault to a person's individual freedom. As Chinua Achebe once said, a hungry person cannot claim freedom. This is why we believe in a social safety net, a welfare that will allow to pull and lift people out of poverty. Fellow Democrats, I stand before you here today and I look at people who will fix our country. The future of South Africa. I know the potential of this party and I know what we can achieve in government. I know that you and I share a vision for South Africa, a more equal South Africa, a non-racial South Africa, a South Africa where the prisons, where people are born into poverty and have been broken down and opportunities are given to them so that they can succeed in life. I know we share a vision that the next generation of South Africans will be better than the previous one. A South Africa where each child is given a world-class education before stepping on into a world that is brimming with opportunities. Fellow South Africans, I believe we share a vision where extreme poverty no longer exists and the unemployment no longer darkens the horizons of millions of our people. But it is not enough that we agree on this vision, just in this room. We have to ensure, and I know it for a fact, that millions of South Africans out there share this vision. They want this vision. They want South Africa to be like that. And our job is to make sure we get that vision to them so that they can continue to bring it. Because I want to tell you, our task is to make sure every South African knows exactly what the DA is and what the DA will do in government. Democrats, you must know you are winning the battle of ideas when your opponents resort only to insults. When they call you names, they speak lies. They say we are a party of apartheid. Hey, Ha gona nnete foo. We are the only party that is uniting South Africans. Look around you, you will see for yourself. Ba re ko rona, we are a party ya makgowa. Because they can see that we are growing in every village and we are growing in townships. They can see gore nnete ke ye e tshebeleng ka bolona. Ba tlo tla ba re roga ka ba re, hey, all the leaders go DA are puppets of something or another. And that if we were to win an election, we will be replaced by other people. I want to say this unequivocally. Bagaetsho, that is absolute nonsense. The truth is, for batho ba ba buang nyalo, you are never black enough or you are never white enough. Ha ke ba tlhaloganye. We want to tell them we are proud of who we are and we are proud to be part of this movement because all South Africans belong here. Let me tell you what they want. They want black people to remain trapped in the politics of race because this is what keeps them in power. This is the truth, Democrats. They are afraid. Bayangcangcazela. They are afraid of us because they realize they are afraid of the new generation of black South Africans who think differently to them and who choose their own different futures. They are scared. Like the Afrikaner government was scared when Anshin Dreya stood up and said, I will not put up with Afrikaner nationalism. They rejected her. Now today they are scared of black South Africans who say, I will not stand up for this form of nationalism. They are just scared. They are afraid that all races will come together united and that black people, white people, Indian people, colored people can work together for those who are left out, who happen to be black, excluded, unemployed, young, and mostly women. That's what they fear. Because it doesn't fit in with their narrative of our history. It doesn't help them stay in power. Every single black leader I see here is because he or she believes in the DA's project and in building a South Africa for all, and because he or she has the skills to help the people to achieve that dream. Therefore, even whoever you elect in this Congress, please don't vote for people who mobilize on the basis of race. It's not the DA. Let us vote for South Africans who stand up for our values. Amandla! And I want to say this, that all of those who are here, I urge you to follow the examples of one of my predecessor leader, Helen Suzman, who as a free white South African went to a jailed Robben Island and fought for prisoners that didn't look like her, didn't speak like her, and certainly didn't share her own faith. Come and see for yourself. Come and join a DA branch. Come and see how we care and fight for those who are excluded. Let's put all lies and deception aside, Democrats. Let's engage with the issues that will move our country forward. Let us, in fact, discuss the best vision for our country. Let's interrogate policy. Let's interrogate values and put those in a manifesto. To my fellow Democrats, I warn you, the stronger we get, the more our opponents will lie and deceive. We will have to fight those lies with our values, and we will fight them with the proof that where we govern, our policies in fact work. If every person who voted for the DA last year just tells one other person to vote for the DA, we will replace the ANC in the union buildings. Because Democrats, our people are looking for a fresh start. They don't want empty promises of a new dawn. They need total change. They need to dismantle the corrupt system that still continues to oppress our society. How can we speak of a new dawn when our cabinet is still filled with tsotsis and criminals? How do we speak of a new dawn when in fact our children are still dying in pit latrines in our schools? How do we speak of a new dawn when this same government remains in power after having shot down 34 miners in Marikana and killed 144 mental disabled patients in Life Esidimeni? This cannot be. We need a new beginning, a total change, a new start for our people. They can't remain in power. We need a new dawn because it cannot be good enough that we wake up every day and farmers are being killed brutally in their homes. It can't be so. We can't have a new dawn when so many people are still without land thanks to corruption, incompetence, and not the constitution. It's because they are corrupt and incompetent, but they keep talking about a new dawn. Democrats, I want you to know that we will do everything we can to make sure that this new dawn is about, they want to remove a mayor simply because of the color of his skin, who is working hard to in fact eradicate buckets. This new dawn wants to replace the constitution and be taken apart and remove property rights for people because they threaten simply to mask the government's failures in returning land to the people within the law. We don't need a new dawn. We need a new start. We need complete change. We need to fight drugs. We need a plan that will ensure that our borders are safe and that we can curb illegal immigration. And ultimately, we need it now, we need it today, and our people are waiting for the change they need. We Democrats need a plan that will give our people ownership to the land and protect the rights of all South Africans. But most of all, we need a plan that breaks down the wall that the government has erected between the insiders and the outsiders of our society. Because Democrats, the biggest challenge we face is that in many ways, there are South Africas, there are two South Africas. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. They have a destructive agenda of hateful ideologies that define our country's problems. What they don't see is that maybe some want to cut off the throat of whiteness and kick out a hard-working mayor simply because of the color of his skin. Every day, Democrats, we spend putting out these fires stoked by racial nationalists is a day we spend less on fixing the real problems. We have two distinct nations, as I've said. There are those who are on the inside, and there are those who are on the outside. If you are on the inside, you generally have a job, you are connected, and you have the privileges and opportunities. That's not my fight. My fight is for those who are on the outside, who are desperately poor, who are unemployed and unemployable, who wake up every day. Until then, this is a system that has been designed. Their system that we've got here today has been designed to keep the insiders protected. It's a system where tenders and contracts go to people with political connections who are higher up, where housing lists are manipulated to benefit those with the right party membership, where EPWP jobs zinikwa abantu abakhupha membership card kuma councillor wabo. We have to, Democrats, fight against those who keep the system in place, such as trade unions and labor legislation that protect the employed at the expense of the unemployed. We need to reject a black economic empowerment that is set up to empower and re-empower the super rich while the majority of the people still remain in poverty. If you are on the inside of South Africa is working for you. But if you are on the outside, you need a chance for change right now. Democrats, we cannot trust this government, and we have to meet this challenge, regardless of how much all we can do is focus on our own efforts, because we have to achieve mighty results. We triumphed in the fight against the corrupt president and his handlers because we were angry at what they'd done. And now, Democrats, I want you to be angry about an injustice in South Africa. We have to summon the same anger towards a system that keeps more than half of our people trapped in poverty. We have to summon that anger to the fact that children up to the age of 12 years of school only find themselves completely unprepared to step out into the world and secure a job. This must make you angry. Democrats, we must be angry about the fact that our learners drop out of school without finishing matric. They drop out of school because they can't even complete their degrees. It must make you angry. It must make you angry that the youth of this country are still unemployed. It must make you angry the fact that 17 million people of our grant recipients can barely make a living, it ought to make us angry. It must make us angry, the fact that our investors are pulling out and putting money elsewhere. We could, Democrats, be Africa's biggest economy. We could set the tone for investment here, and we can eradicate extreme poverty. The fact that we're not doing this makes me absolutely furious. We have to bring a change. My fellow Democrats, our country needs a complete change, a new beginning. We need a tomorrow we can all believe in. And I believe it is possible. I believe we can break down the walls that divide our society. I believe we can open the doors of our economy to millions who still find themselves locked out. But if we are going to do this, we have to get a few things right. The first thing is we have to ensure that we find ways to get South Africans onto the jobs ladder. Secondly, we have to ensure that there's an environment that is conducive for those who create work to thrive. And thirdly, we have to ensure that nobody is left behind. The first of these tasks is getting people into work, a South Africa that could work for them. One of ours is, in fact, a cradle-to-career approach that includes early childhood development, offering post-school opportunities for all, and skilling older workers and harnessing the lost skills of those who have already retired. But we cannot prepare all of these people for jobs that don't exist. And so our second is about building an economy that grows. And at the heart of this is a city-led economic growth. All over the world, cities are setting the pace as to how we do economic growth. They are the ones who have the capability to build infrastructure, and they are the ones who are the homes for 70% of our citizens. The city of Johannesburg and the Western Cape already determine more than half of the country's GDP. Local governments are better placed to deliver infrastructure required for growth, and they are more directly accountable to the people they serve. Our challenge must be ensuring that we build economic growth so that we can ensure that there's benefit to our country and those in rural communities can experience this growth. But even with the best plans and execution, there will always be people who are left behind. And that's the third part of our offer. We have to ensure that the private sector must drive job creation, but government still has a role in helping those who are left behind to secure a job and an independent income. And therefore, the role includes interventions like a national civilian service, an extension of a government internship program, and establishment of job centers. This, fellow Democrats, is how we will empower people with the independence that comes with a job. This is how we build one nation with one future. This is how Democrats, the DA, wants to present itself active in every community. Whether we are in government or whether we are not, we must offer the kind of leadership that makes a vote for the DA next year an obvious choice. If you want to be the government for all South African, then every action that we take must demonstrate this. We've prided ourselves in our delivery track record. It is what sets us apart more than anything else from our opponents. People vote for us because we've been gifted a rare opportunity to demonstrate in our cities and our towns across the country. We dare not fail at this time, Democrats. We need to show people what they can expect from their government. And I know we will succeed because we will never abandon our values, our liberal values. Our party has been built for many decades as a political home for all South Africans. And therefore, we have to unashamedly while others unashamedly drive wedges between races and speak only for minorities, we will never do so. This will remain our clear blue water between us and our opponents. Ours, Democrats, is a mission to unite the people of this country. Ours is a mission to build an economy and a society that is shared by all. Ours, Democrats, is a mission to break down the walls that keep so many people trapped in poverty. And I want to ask you, every day when you wake up, your mission is to fight for those South Africans who are left behind. It is a mission that will require of us sacrifice and sweat from each and every person in this room and the millions who call themselves DA people. It is a mission that every day we ought to be outraged by the hardship that so many many people still face, who are our brothers and our sisters. Fellow South Africans, fellow Democrats, Martin Luther King once said, if you wish to compose or write or pray or preach, then I must be angry. Then all the blood in my veins is stirred and my understanding is sharpened. I want you, as we consider policies in this Congress and ultimately charter a way forward, remind ourselves what makes us angry. We ought to be angry, fellow Democrats. I want the blood in your veins to be stirred with the understanding sharpened when you think of the injustices in our society. I want you to direct your anger towards building a South Africa that is fair, that is free, that is full of opportunities for all our people. And Democrats, this is our mission. It is a mission to ensure those left behind who are landless, we will, within the Constitution, accelerate land reform and land restitution. I want to ask every single provincial leader, federal chair, and the deputy chairperson to come, in fact, to join me on stage. Because here's what I believe, Democrats. Change is coming. I don't know if you believe it. I can feel it. Because ultimately, our legacy to South Africa is to make sure that we break racial nationalism to bring about a change for all South Africans. Fellow South Africans, I'm here to call upon you to say, let us continue this mission in every community, in every society, to make sure our people can hear us, that the DA is for all. We're working for an economy for all. We want those who are left out to be included, and our values will charter a way forward for a South Africa for all. You are part of that historic mission, and I want you to join me and join this leadership team here of South Africans who are committed to our future. Amurena, abulukas chabasayesu, ngosi, sigeleli Africa, God, sien, South Africa. Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa, our land. God bless you. Amandla!